We got him, ladies and gentlemen. We fucking got him. Hulk Hogan. I'm happy to say I truly believe that that man's legacy is officially over. We fucking got him. And I'm excited to say that we got him. First of all, welcome to the New Wrestling World Order podcast. This has been going on as an audio show for many years now. We're approaching episode 200. And then I said to myself, it's time to bring the show over to video. So here I am. Everybody's dumping their content on YouTube. So let me give you some content too to consume from my perspective. As a black man, I do have a co-host. He's not here with me right now. He'll be with me on a later episode. He's taking care of some business. But I want to get at Hulk Hogan, ladies and gentlemen. I want to really just take a hard shit on Hulk Hogan as he has taken on black people. We all know 2 weeks ago, he comes out on WWE Monday Night Raw on Netflix. The premiere episode on Netflix. They made this their WrestleMania of Monday nights. And Hulk Hogan came out and he waved, and Jimmy Hart, bless his heart, still dyeing his hair, comes out and he waves that American flag. And there's Hulk Hogan standing there being booed by the masses. Everybody in attendance was booing him. People on Twitter, people on Reddit, people on TikTok, since that's back up and running officially as of today. People at the time were making sure they were letting it be known that fuck Hulk Hogan. This was not the man that they wanted to do business with or even be seen doing business with the exception of WWE. And he comes out with his promotion of his Real American Bear, all of this grandstand bullshit, and he is being booed to the masses. Booed from the masses, excuse me. And here we are. I saw a lot of people, white and some black, coonish, who was truly defending Hulk Hogan, making it seem like that they was booing him for his political reasons, that that people were booing him because that people didn't understand that they don't like his politics. This had nothing to do with Donald Trump at all. As a black man myself, I knew where those boos come from, especially in Los Angeles. I got family in Los Angeles. My big muscle bound black ass got a lot of family in Los Angeles. They were family of mine that were in attendance booing Hulk Hogan. And it wasn't about the fact that he sides with Trump, because we all know Undertaker came out and got cheered and got honored and praised as he always does. He even interviewed Donald Trump. That's not what people was hanging him for. And a lot of people are scared to say it on these YouTube streets. A lot of people in their podcasts and their shows and their think pieces are honestly and truly scared just to say that this motherfucker is racist. That's why he was being booed. The political affiliation to Donald Trump was not going to get you booed. It wasn't going to get him hated out the building. Or we would have saw that with the dead man, with the Undertaker himself, the Phenom. No, this was Hulk Hogan being booed out the building for being a racist piece of shit. You got the Eric Bischoffs who were defending him. You got a few people that was trying to make things right and trying to say, well, it really was and it really wasn't. No, dog, it had nothing to do with it. And Eric Bischoff, another person, God bless him. Thoughts and prayers to you, wherever you are, whatever the fuck you're doing. But you know damn well this wasn't because after the entrance, Hogan got to cut a promo. Undertaker can cut a promo right now on Monday Night Raw and will not get booed. It is because the actions of this real American guitar playing hero. I'm a real American with his Real American Bear. It had nothing to do with that. It came down because he is a habitual racist, a self-admitted racist. Let me not forget to remind you that exactly. The man who said, say your prayers, take your vitamins. The man who was dropping leg drops all across the world. Mind you, a leg drop that he stole from a black wrestler. The whole sequence, the big boots and the big leg drop. He stole that from a black wrestler. Go do your research if you want to do it. It's not just about saying he stole it. Go do your research. Go learn who would throw the wrestler off the rope, kick him in the face with the big boot, run back, bounce off the ropes, and come down with that big double leg drop. We forget that, right? Go do your Ernie Ladd research. The point I'm trying to make is Hulk Hogan showed up and got booed. And I'm tired of people saying, well, we need to understand that everybody's racist. It's not about everybody being racist. It's about Hulk Hogan's racism being proven down to the T. When it comes, and I believe he violated us as, and I'm talking about the black wrestling fan, the black American, the black person, the black people who went to the wrestling shows just like the white people did. The black person who showed up and had fun and cheered with Hulk Hogan, people who took pictures with Hulk Hogan, people who bought Hulk Hogan merchandise and toys, and all of the guys who went out there and celebrated Hulk Hogan's Japan time, and Hulk Hogan was a great guitarist and he was about to join Metallica, another lie that was defunct. And Hulk Hogan took to the people and literally told us that he don't give a fuck about us. And we need to understand that he's not like us. Oh, you can blame it on the fact, he grew up he was born in Virginia, raised in Florida, spent a lot of time in Venice Beach. Racism is something that you choose to run high with. So him saying he's a real American, maybe that was true because his racism in America go 1 and 1. So Hulk Hogan was the one to perfectly present that to us at all costs and by any fucking means. But now it's 2025. We're exiting 2024. We are in 2025. It's not 1984. It's not 1985 no more. Hulk Hogan is not the man. See, time does things differently to black people versus it does white people. Time can weather you down. Time can simply make you feel a certain way or feel you need to do more. But what good old-fashioned white Americans, what time does is expose a long, hard truth. And what time does is expose racism in our older white Americans. That is just the truth. And time has exposed Hulk Hogan several times over. Do we not forget that Hulk Hogan said, and I want to quote this clearly, because his daughter was fucking a black guy. And I'll play the audio of what Hulk Hogan said at the end of this episode. That because his daughter was fucking a black guy, that not only was he disgusted, but that the only nigger, hard ER, the only nigger that she should be fucking is a rich nigga. Go get yourself a 6'5" rich nigger NBA player, and then that's a different story. I'm paraphrasing, but he used nigger 3 to 2 times in this. I'll play the audio with the words on the screen so that you can read and see and indoctrinate yourself in exactly what Hulk Hogan presented. And that was the crazy part. Mark Henry goes up to Hulk Hogan and says, Hulk, baby, I know you've been through a lot. Why don't you do yourself a favor and come on down with me and let's go to some historical black colleges and speak in front of professors and people and explain where your racism came from and where it might have gone and so on and so on. And you know what Hogan said? He said, no. Time will pass. This will all blow by. I'm not making this up. This is what Hulk Hogan literally said. Mark Henry offered him a solution. He 100% offered him a solution. This the guy who ran down to the ring with good old fashioned Dennis Rodman, smoking cigars, emulating black culture with the jewelry and the do-rags and the smoking and the coming out to the hip hop music and this, that, and the other with the NWO red and black and the NW black and white. Putting up the colors, gang wars. And then Hulk Hogan, he's mastered the art of making you feel sorry for him. For some people, there was a point where Hulk Hogan said he wanted you to kill him. He wanted to kill himself. And I'm being honest with you. I know it's a word that we shouldn't use on YouTube. I know we shouldn't say the word kill himself, but I think Hulk Hogan should delete himself. Oh, Hulk Hogan went on the news, on ABC News, on Nightline, and said that I'm really a good guy, and I wanted to delete myself or slash kill myself, and I wanted to remove myself from this world because everybody hates me. I lost my wife, my kids are no longer with me, and blah blah blah, this, that, and the other. And Hulk Hogan didn't give a fuck about us. He just wanted to get out that sympathy train. He wanted to get on that sympathy train and put us on it and make us forgive him. And he literally said, I'm really a good guy. I'm really a nice guy. That calls black people niggers and brown clowns and coons. Mark Lamont Hill even brought this up in a tweet somewhere, that he would call black wrestlers Sambos and niggers in the locker room. We can't make this up. This is not someone speculating. And then when he brought up the fact that what he said with his daughter, he made it seem like she was in a situation. No, she was being piped down by a black man, and he couldn't hate it because racism, as he says, I'm an admitted racism. And he said, I'm going to blame it on time, but forgive me. He wants you to forgive him, but he won't offer an apology because he has no intention on apologizing at all. Oh, and then you got The Rock, who went up there and made his comments all those years ago, and Hulk Hogan's a good guy, and Foreman, he's a good guy, and this, that, and the other. And everybody had such nice things to say about Hulk Hogan, knowing that their parents and the people around him from this Rock being third generation knew who Hulk Hogan was, how he was. He shared the main event of WrestleMania with Hulk Hogan. And you got other black celebrities saying, I don't condone the language, but I understand. Fuck understanding. We need you to straight up and down keep it 100 and stop this from happening. But no. Hulk Hogan sat up there and he faked crying, and he's adjusting his do-rag, and he got his rosary cross around his neck, and he's doing all these things. But this is the dude who went out there and emulated gang culture, emulated black people, played the black bad guy himself. You leave it to me. Yeah, sometimes I come from entertainment. Anybody who's listened to the podcast in an auditory form, I come from the world of film and television. I grew up in Brownsville, Brooklyn, New York. I'm very well traveled. I've been around the world. I've been an executive. I've been a VP in television. I've been a lot of things. But the one thing that always seemed strong was Hulk Hogan. I had an associate by the name of Carnage when I used to wrestle back in 98, 99. And Hulk Hogan, he said, I went to Hulk Hogan's wrestling school, and Hulk Hogan taught me how to be a wrestler. And I'm looking at this big, overweight, obese black wrestler by the name of Carnage, and he's sitting up there and no one would check him. But because I was already very early on working in entertainment and had people who worked in television networks and started to get to know older black wrestlers, first thing they said was, yo, that man Hulk Hogan is a racist. So out of all the people this young man is saying, out of this people trained him how to wrestle, he said Hulk Hogan taught him, because being trained by someone like Hulk Hogan allegedly meant that he was God, that he was ordained to be the greatest. Hulk Hogan barely trained his son how to be a man, but he's going to teach you how to wrestle. I never remember Hulk Hogan having a wrestling school, and if he did, he never ran it. But niggers, they want to get down. They want to be down, and they want that cosign from that white counterpart, which for him was Hulk Hogan, and he knew no one had the resources to check and see if this was a reality. And I get it. We all want to be celebrated. We all want to identify. We all want to prove ourselves to be a part of something. But let's not forget, he violated that young girl essence for the real American bear. And he tells her, oh, we're cutting all promotions. We're cutting all this, that, and the other, even though she was hired by the agency and was the prettiest one of all of them. But because she didn't have blonde hair and blue eyes, Hulk Hogan wanted that young woman off of there. And he probably said, allegedly, get that nigger bitch out of there. This is Hulk Hogan, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not making this up. This man has proven this time and time again. And then, while he's on jail calls with Nick Hogan being the hoaxer himself, he says, well, you know what? The young man that died because of Nick Hogan speeding and got wrapped around that light pole or tree pole or whatever it was, he said that young man died because God had to teach him a lesson, got hurt because God had to teach him a lesson. And his mother, the other piece of shit, sits up there and says, she doesn't care about my son, and she doesn't even care about her own son. This is how these people talk and come together. And then they team up against Brooke for having sex with a black guy because she actually liked the dude. But all Hulk Hogan could talk about is allegedly he was getting her a $500 million deal and he poured millions into her career and so on and so on. But because she fucked the black guy, it was that. So he violates us as black men, saying we can only be with his daughter. Not that we all want to, but that we could only be with white women, basically, if we're rich niggers. And I'm saying it with the hard ER. He gets rid of a black woman from a because for his promotion of his beer, that's not all American. There's a time you can look up some footage, and I'll put this at the end of the episode too, where he's standing in front of Tony Atlas and he goes, look at this brown clown. Of all the things to say in a black man in 1981, 82, you call him a brown clown. Andre the Giant was also racist along with him. We forget that Bad News Brown had to pull a gun on Andre the Giant and threaten to shoot him because they're using the word nigger and calling him nigger. So this was cultural. This is culturally what they did. But people were saying it's his politics. It had nothing to do with the politics. It had everything to do with how he presented himself and what he said. This is not me making this up. This is me just looking at it. So when Hulk Hogan gets booed, it's not because he was playing a character. It's because he's really a piece of shit, and time has exposed everything that Hulk Hogan was. And I got to talk to my black men out here for a minute. Black men and women, because some of you are still going to cheer for Hogan. Some of you are going to go on YouTube and watch Hulk Hogan matches. Some of you are going to celebrate Hulk Hogan, praise Hulk Hogan. Some of you are going to still sing his song because you rather be cool with the racists to appease your emotional state than to really realistically look at the man who will disrespect you the moment your back is turned or the moment he's approaching you. But, you know, culturally, through television and film, we have been taught to be okay with being visually and verbally disrespected. But the moment we make an attempt to do it, it's wrong. How can we sit up there and celebrate someone like Hulk Hogan and this, that, and the other? And then Hulk Hogan, again, I'm going to say it again. He's not looking to apologize to any of us, but he wants us to forgive him. There's one thing you have to apologize to us. And you know what? He doesn't have to apologize to us. And if he doesn't want to apologize to us, that's A-OK. You take your and your old school legacy and you delete yourself. He was even suicide hustling. Do we understand that he sat up there and he played the victim on Nightline of suicide hustling so that people can put shit behind us? Because like Mark Henry said, he put it behind him. He said, don't worry, the people will forget about it. You know, wrestling fans are the most intelligent fans on the world sometimes. Yeah, it's a little bit zany. Yes, it's a little bit crazy. Yes, it's a little bit over the top. But you know what's the one thing I learned about wrestling fans? They retain more information than a little bit. I'm not making this up. They retain information. No questions asked. They are retainers of information consistently. Non-stop retainers of information. And I think Hulk Hogan really thinks that we don't remember anything that was said. I think he thinks that we're complete idiots and we have no idea what's going on. So it's comfortable for him to think that we are stupid. I'm not making this up. It's a pure fucking reality. We got to stop this shit. But we don't. You know why? Because Hulk Hogan has made us feel comfortable with consistently being disrespected. It's just the truth. This show is named the New Wrestling World Order. I love the NWO, but I never was a Hulk Hogan fan. You know, growing up in Brownsville, Brooklyn taught me, I grew up in the worst hood in America in my eyes. 20 something story buildings, everybody stacked on each other. And I remember a cop said to me one day, the reason why this neighborhood could never change, because where do you put 800,000 niggers? And then he did the NWO sign and kept walking. That always sat in my head. And the one thing I learned growing up is that I know a faker. I can identify a faker and a pretender. I can identify a wannabe. I can identify a liar, and I can identify a racist. It has always been put in front of me in my life. So it's something that I can clearly see. And ladies and gentlemen, even as a kid, you can tell that something was off about Hulk Hogan. You can just tell that something was off about Hulk Hogan. And the things that you can see that's off about Hulk Hogan is 100% his race. He's 100% racist, as he self-admitted. He's 100% about himself, as we all learn. 2, he's fake. He's a wannabe, and he's the dude who will sell you up the river. Even though everything can be right, you can make everything right for everyone. He's going to sell you up the river to make sure everything is just right for himself. That's Hulk Hogan. So I hope he hears this. He probably won't. This video may not even get 50 views. It might not even get 10 views. But I will say this. And I will say this with all of my heart, and I mean this when I say this. Hulk Hogan, and this will be the title of the video. Hulk Hogan needs to delete himself. Welcome himself to the bosom of Abraham, join his racist friend Andre the Giant, and they can say nigger until it makes their teeth white. But we should no longer be celebrating the idea of Hulk Hogan. We should no longer be praising him. And if I catch you niggas celebrating Hulk Hogan, that I know, it's on sight. I will know in 2025, we can no longer respect black men who respect the white men who disrespect us as black men and women. That's just a fact. And I'm pretty sure Hulk Hogan has climbed on top of a few black women in his lifetime. That's without question and without a doubt. But a racist white man will fuck a black woman. A racist white man will definitely fuck a black woman. And I'm not saying black men can't be racist and are not prejudiced or are not about that. Cool. You want to be about your race, be about your race. But Hulk Hogan was more upset that he got caught on audio. And like a lot of wrestlers said, when he stood in front of the crowd, the locker room, and he started apologizing to people, he didn't really apologize. He just was apologizing for getting caught. But he never said, I apologize to you for the words I said. Just be careful. You never know when cameras are running. That's apologizing for being caught. And because no one wants to shake shit up, no one wants to say, fuck you, you Peckerwood piece of shit. They rather just take Hulk Hogan's fake apology so everything's all good. You know, the locker room, a wrestling locker room is no different than a locker room in high school. A wrestling locker room is no different than a lunchroom in high school. Everybody wants to be cool with who they think the cool kid is. As they imitate you, disrespect you, emulate you, violate you, and so on and so on. So I say this, Hulk Hogan, from the bottom of my heart, Kurt Cobain yourself. Put the Mossberg in your mouth, pull the trigger with your big toe, and welcome yourself onto the bosom of Abraham. Delete yourself. Remove yourself from this media game and this media business. New Wrestling World Order episodes dropping weekly. Catch you guys in the next one.